Good evening and welcome to the stream. Let me just turn this down just a little bit more. It's Friday, and that means that it's time for a usual little thing. Now, tonight, you might have guessed it with the starting time. Yes, I have been watching a dev stream. But that's not the only reason why we probably won't be doing a super long stream tonight. But it is more a matter of I'm honestly not feeling the best, so probably not going to extend myself as far, but I still wanted to do at least a little something. So that's what we're going to do, and tonight we are going to be doing a little Puppercraft, Minecraft, showing a little bit about where we left off last time. I have been playing a little bit by myself, so we're not exactly the same place as where we were. So that's going to be interesting. But we'll do a little bit of a summary of what I have done and stuff since last time. And also about a few things that I will be working on. Not all I think we can actually do tonight. But let's get ourselves started. Let me just click the right windows. Everything is set up. Yeah, good. Alright, so, well, as you can hear, we have a visitor. I think he's out back here. The wandering trader came by, and I bought some glowstone because 2 emeralds for a glowstone block. That is pretty good. So I decided to buy that. And other than that, if you remember last time, we got an enchantment table going unexpectedly. And I've been working a little bit on that. I have actually not used the enchantment table at all. Because I decided to do some other things instead. But we have new friends. We have a little llama here, which is actually a pretty strong llama. And other than that, we have the same friends here as last time, but we have gotten some more friends, because if you remember last time I had gotten my lucky stick. Well, now we have lucky stick, trusty stick, we also have pew pew, we have lucky friend, and we have protector. So I'm slowly building up my gear here. Lucky friend, fortune 3 pickaxe. Took a little bit to get that going. I managed to get some mending books from fishing with lucky stick. So yeah, these are all made from things I have fished. These 2 are made from combining books. So instead of enchanting them on the table, I decided to get some books and then combine those. I got 3 mending books. The first one into Lucky Friend, the second one into Protector. And that's because I found it a little more useful to have a Silk Touch axe than a Silk Touch pick, because the only difference is that the Silk Touch pick can get ores and what is it called? The ender chest, which I don't currently have anyway. So I felt this was a more helpful tool in general. Not so much for the Silk Touch, though that is nice to have, but a better axe, both for the sharpness and also for the efficiency and stuff, is quite lovely. But I do have an extra mending book, and actually if it wasn't for a little something I would put it on that cap there. But it has Curse of Binding on it. It's Mending, Silk Touch, Curse of Binding. Now, 2 things. Curse of Binding means we can't put this mending book on any sort of gear that we would equip, because then we can never take it off. Not without dying. We don't want that. So that has to go on a tool you hold in your hand, where the Curse of Binding will not do anything. And then there's another thing, Silk Touch coming after mending. That bothers me. I like my Silk Touch to come before mending. If you see Lucky Friend, for instance, I have Fortune, Efficiency, Unbreaking, Mending. That's the order I like to have my things. So I might waste a book just to get Silk Touch to go first. And I can actually do that because I have multiple Silk Touch books here, because the librarian over in town actually sells Silk Touch books. I got very lucky with my librarian. Got a Fortune 1 book, not so great, but then I also got a Silk Touch book trade, and I decided to buy a couple extra. So Silk Touch is not as rare currently as it usually is for me. So I might waste a book on that, but I'm still missing some books to actually make a secondary pick with Silk Touch on it. And I would also like to get some, what is it called, mending, so I could stick it in this thing. Would just be nice to have. But yeah, other than that, I have been collecting stuff, collecting emeralds, as you can see here. Got a few. And actually, let's bring a couple to town. So, I've been working a little bit. If you remember last time, I started a little bit of work on the tunnel here, and I've been continuing that. Decided on a little bit of design for the entry and exit. Yeah, I have not completely decided on the inside here yet. I think I will continue that design up here, but one of the problems is that there's this area behind here, which is a big mess. And I kind of want to fill that in with stone. The problem is that I had a hole. It just went down here and then it stopped. But then I made the grave mistake of deciding to dig out all the granite, andesite and diorite that was around here, and that extended all over the place. So now I have a giant hole to fill in. So I need to sort that, but it'll be this in the ends, and then probably up the stairway, and then I'm thinking here still doing the aquarium idea. Not completely settled on that, but it is an idea at least. And over here, town is still the same, but if you see over the hill here, you can just barely see it there, is a double chest. I have put up a chest here, which is Papa's Village Improvement Fund. Different wood, some stone types, and that is in order to be able to make some improvements to the village, because the default houses, they're okay, but honestly the town is a little unsafe, and also it could be a lot better. So what I want to do is I want to make some better buildings and stuff, and we might get a little bit started on that tonight. We have our farmers here. Both of them are master farmers now, so they both sell golden carrots and glistening melons. So that's quite nice. Both of them unfortunately sell suspicious stew, which that's made of evil, so we're not going to eat that. And we don't know what the suspicious stew actually is, so that's like double negative. But yeah, I was hoping that one of them would get a pumpkin trade, but sadly both of them decided to sell stew, but that's okay. Then over here, our leather worker is still without really any purpose in life, still a novice, and he might very well, or they might very well, change their profession eventually, because once I start remaking the village, I'm going to be tearing down the workstation so that I can move them around. But our Fletcher is now Master Fletcher, and they give us access to Arrow of Slow Falling, which doesn't have terribly much use. But it is a thing. We can also trade string and feathers, so that's one we really don't want to do. Potentially tripwire hooks if we get excessive amounts. Then we have an unbreaking bow, which is like, it's too easy to just fish some stuff. Then let's visit our librarian. You can see I've upgraded a little bit. I have what's it called? A bed in here, but I would like to do something different. Something a little bit bigger. But our librarian here is getting close to master. Not quite there yet. Still need to do some more trades. But we have Bane of Arthropods 3 for 32 emeralds. 34 normally, but since I've done trading, I'm in good standing with them. The Fortune book, and then there's also the Silk Touch book, which is actually really cheap. So that is quite lovely. And I will probably buy some more bookshelves for the village expansion. And then we have over here our cleric. And our cleric is also, again, expert, not quite master. Sells glowstone, but for double the price of the wandering trader, so it's better to get it from the trader if you can, or go mine it. But it is an option. However, just to level our cleric a little bit, it isn't too important to get to the master level, because the only thing we really get is a way to turn netherwort into emeralds. But it's still nice, and we can always use a little bit of redstone. So let's buy some of that. I was hoping that expert level would unlock something other than these two trades, because these two are pretty worthless to us. Bottles, if I have excess bottles maybe, but it's kind of a steep price. And shoots, I would rather keep those myself. Now, clerics can actually at expert level get a trait to buy ender pearls, and that is really useful. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, so not this time. Oh, Iron Enderman. So, what else has changed? Well, a few things. Well, I've started doing a little bit of, not automation, but just quality of life improvements. This thing, for instance. Just easier harvest, and then you just pop it back in again afterwards. So that's a thing. And similarly over here, I have taken out the bone meal from this barrel because it was filling a lot of space and I kept running out. And then I at the same time automated this, so it has automatic extraction and automated filling. So we just put it in there, goes into that, and then it goes out there. So I just burn things as I get too many of them and stick them in there. And then over here I've also made a little bit of an expansion, because we have a little room down below. Like, we had a tunnel underneath here, and I have made that into a little room here, and most of it is just empty space at the moment. Even the barrels I put in here is all empty. But this is essentially an aesthetic bulk storage, so once I fill up my fish barrel, which is very, very soon. Maybe later. But I also made this thing here, which, as you can see, pipes out from the chest here, and then pipes down here into the furnace, which is powered by saplings, because I had a bunch of saplings that I would otherwise just turn into bone meal. And then it pipes out down into here. What is a scrapper. So it can make other things as well, but the intent of it is that you can put in stuff like broken iron tools that you get from zombies, for instance, and then it will burn them down into nuggets that you can then use for other stuff. So that's the purpose of it. The problem with it is that if you would do that manually, you would be wasting fuel most of the time. Like if you use a what is it called, a charcoal, then what is it called? That burns 8 items. But by doing it with the saplings, we will do it on a 1 item basis, because each sapling burns half an item. So we can put in a single item and it won't be wasting any fuel. Similarly, we can also burn 1 item without needing to first collect 8 items to then stick inside before we can actually get an output. So it's just nicer that way. And if I didn't have saplings, I could also burn sticks, but I like my sticks, so I haven't done that. So other than that, I added a little signal fire over here. Oh, looks like the wandering trader's heading off. Two of them, because I added one and it felt alone, so I added another. There's actually a what is it called? A haystack underneath. That's because that extends the smoke up higher. And it's not because I can't find my place. It is one part aesthetics, one part like I feel like I should tell the wandering traders that, hey, over here someone wants to trade with you. So yeah. So that's a thing, but it is also nice when you're coming over the hill. You can see it from a fair ways away actually, so it makes it a little easier, because otherwise the house is a little hidden behind the hill if you need something to show you the way. Then over here I have made a little marker, and that's because I want to put something over here. We'll be working on that in a moment. But first, let's go down below. Let's drop off the emeralds and redstone first, because I don't want to go and lose those. The, what is it called? The levels I don't care so much about, because I don't have a huge need for levels right now. So that's not too important. We should maybe bring, yeah, let's bring my bow here and some arrows. We have an extra axe, good. Because as I talked about last time, I set up the, what is it called, the nether portal, and I didn't go into the nether, but I have done that since, as you can see. All the portals are now in place, but I've only turned one of them on at the moment, just because there wasn't a reason to turn the others on yet, but I will eventually. And then down here, I have gone all the way down to bedrock. I'll probably go 2 levels up from here actually, because I like to put in flooring down here. Now that I have a silk touch axe, I can actually grab some grass and put it down here, which will look nice. The only problem is that there's magma down here, and over here I actually had a magma pool that was like intertwined with the bedrock. That was a little bit of a mess to clean up. But lava's usually not the worst to control in regards to fire hazards. As far as I am aware, a single block of what is it called, lava or magma will light a 3x3 above it on fire, and above that a 5x5. So first level 3x3, next level 5x5. A little bit weird, but that's supposedly how it works. So if we go up 2 levels here and there is lava at the level below our floor, it actually won't be able to light anything on fire. So, or shouldn't be able to. It's always that should. But I actually ran into some other, what is it called, the magma pools over here. I have one on this side, and then I also have one over here that I need to clean out. This one is a little harder to get to because it's a little higher and seems to be like completely covered. So what I need to do is I need to bring water, which I put over there for now so I didn't forget where I put it. And then basically pour it out over the top and then just get started on the mining. It's usually how I do it. If I find a magma pool that I need to remove, I just turn it into obsidian and then get started on removing it, because might as well. I think we're gonna move my bow to number 3 so that I can actually reach it a little easier. Okay, that was a dolphin. I was like, what the hell is that sound? We don't really need shovels in there, so... So I went in here and I looked around. Since I have a fortune pick, I also picked up some nether quartz, but you can see over there, right there, very, very faintly, you can see something that looks very regular. You can also see it a little bit over there. There's more obvious, but that is what I saw and I was like, that looks like a fortress. So I decided to go over and check it out, and well, I did. And it was indeed a fortress, which you can see now. Go away. Yeah. Now the only problem is I don't think this fortress actually has any kind of a blaze spawner in it. It will spawn blazes, but I don't think it actually has a single spawner. Not from what I can see, at least. I like went up and looked down at it, but from what I can see there is no blaze towers at all, which is of course a little unfortunate. But we can still get blazes from inside, and I have gotten a couple. As you can see here, nether, relieve a blaze of its rod. But I haven't explored too fine here. Let's just mark that so we can find our way out again. I don't like the footsteps. This is the room that I broke into. Let's do it proper, just so nothing bad happens. Okay, so that's a dead end. Itchy arm. So yeah, I broke into the fortress 2 places. I didn't pick up the nether wart from the other place. That looks deadly. Dead end again. But some more gold. Let's pick up some stuff here. Always good to have a little bit of nether brick around. I do really like that they changed it so that now you can get it from netherrack though, just because it gives netherrack more of a use. Usually with netherrack it's not really the prettiest thing, so most of the time you don't really use it much. Not even now that like you can put fire on magma blocks as well and it will stick. So there's not even really a reason for that. I don't have extra soul sand, so the soul sand here will be nice. let's pop a chest here and put in the loot that we got. Saved most of the exploring for tonight, basically. That was mostly just some minor loot. Uh-oh. Ow. I hate those skeletons. They're always ass. Let's just give a second to recover. Okay, this leads to a dead end. We like dead ends. Dead ends means that we don't need to look around for more stuff. I can't get through there. Not without digging into the wall, which we could do. Just a dead end. I see a wither skeleton. Okay, it's just you. Nether quartz. Looks like the skeleton despawned. That's okay. It has a lot of hallways, this one. Uh-oh. That could be a spawner. That is a spawner. Awesome. Oh, whoops. I didn't want to drop that. Okay. So, I don't really have what I need to disable that right now, but that is a good find. So let's mark the route to it. Oh dear. Okay, so there. I think came this way. No? No, we went over here, that's right. So there. In through there. In through there. Over here. Well, let's just leave that there. Okay, with that I think let's get out of here. Basically, there is only a couple ways to disable a blaze spawner, because blaze can spawn in light level 11 or lower. So either you need to use a bunch of what is it called, lava to cover a lot of the area in light. You can do it with not so many lava pillars, but it's a little difficult to do and not something you really want to do while you're working with it. So the best way I find to do it is that you essentially like go in and cover all the spawnable spaces, because it can only spawn in an 8x8x3 area around it, and if you fill that with blocks they can't spawn. If you do a 9x9x3 then you're sure you get them all. So yeah, but yeah, I went there and oh, we have a little bit of a problem here. Yeah, that has happened a little bit, and that might mean that we have to revise the way getting down here works, because if it grows over there I can't click it, but it seems very random when it happens, and also I've seen it go away again. So a little weird. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do that and that. Let's just put the coal on the floor for now. And we'll do that. Then we go down again. And now we can go up. So yeah, I might have to figure out a way to either open it without needing to be able to right click it, or something different of that nature, but it is possible to get out without breaking everything. It's just a little annoying. Alright, we got a bit of loot. That we don't really need. The saddle we don't need. The blaze rod we could use. Another saddle. Okay, we got another of those. Golden sword. Okay, so let's put it out back first. All right. Okay, where did I put those? I think I put them in here. Should really have like a separate chest for nether stuff probably, but redstone chest is probably not going to get super filled. Chests. This goes in there. And yeah, basically I have Pew Pew for not so risky fighting, and then I have the other one here for going into the nether because it's too risky in there. I don't really want to just go in there and lose everything that I just built up. Alright, and then the blaze rod. As you can see, I have been brewing, made a few potions, so I have that. Oh, I'm all over the place today. Let's see here. Let's pull out some spruce logs. Actually, I might just have a spruce door. I need some oak fence. Question is what we should make the wall out of. thinking acacia. Then we need crafting tables. I don't need to craft an extra crafting table. Alright, so let's talk about this place over here. Let's get my stuff back in my bar. Oh, now I have 2 broken. Great. So let's do it this way, then I can combine them once they're about to break. I need this. Alright, so here I wanted to do something. Let's take out the big ones here. And these are gonna have to go. This one too. Probably these one up here too. There we go. Okay. Some of this will probably be replaced with birch, but for now, let's put dirt so that we can get grass. There we go. Similar in style to what we have over by the tunnel. Get some lights up. See, another problem is the dirt here is a little too invasive, so now we need to terraform a little. So let's cut this. I think this one here also down. Maybe. The problem is that this one up here is a little too heavy. I think we move it even further. One more. Alright, how does that look? Yeah, I think that's better. Alright. Let's open this up. And then the question is if we make this at this level or if we move it in one further. What is a good question? Let's try moving it back one further. Kinda like the added depth. We're gonna have to move this. There we go. And then let's put dirt down below, I think. We do it like that. Then we need 7 birch. Okay. I know I haven't said what I'm actually working on, but we'll get to that. Chocolate planks, birch. Alright, so what is it actually that I'm working on here? That is a good question. I am working on a place to put automatic stuff, essentially. Can't really decide which pattern I want more. Let's leave it at that for now. That is not the way I want the door to go. If you want to turn the door around, you need to break the top block of the opposing, or of the side that you don't want it to attach to. So now it goes to the other. So what is this? Well, as I said, a place for automatic things, because stuff like harvesting the bamboo and stuff that can get a little bit tedious. Having to go around and collect it, some of it sometimes lands on trees and stuff, so I want to make a place where I can grow bamboo and then basically go over and harvest it very easily. So that is the goal. And there'll probably be other things inside of there as well, but what I'm thinking is like go in, make a little room, probably in the style of the tunnel, and then like off to the side here maybe have the bamboo stuff, because it needs a little bit of space, and then have it growing like that. The only problem is that I am missing resources to actually make it a thing, and that's why we're not going to make it a thing tonight, because yeah, let's demonstrate here. So if we go in that, alright, so this, and I used my only piston, so we're gonna have to make another. Let's keep this with us. So let's see. Boop, boop. So that cuts a bamboo, but there are a few problems. This, for one. Piston arms used to be a full block, they are not anymore. Now they are like a block structure, I will call it. You can see it fall down here. And that means in order to harvest something, you need to be pushing a block instead. You can't do it with just regular pistons. So that means you need sticky pistons, and I have one slime ball left because I used my other slime ball for the other piston. So that is a problem, of course. Furthermore, if you don't want to use a piston for every single bamboo, which is a little costly, because you need to use one redstone and one iron for every piston, it is possible to do, but it is costly. Alternatively, what you can do is you can use slime blocks to do it. Each method has its own benefits. The downside of the slime block solution is that you need special blocks around it to make sure that the slime block does not try to pull something that it can't, because if you connect the slime block to just the ground, it will try to move the earth, and that does not work. A piston can also only move 12 blocks, so that means that you are limited to being able to only push a certain amount of blocks into those. So you can only really make like a line of 6 if you do it with slime blocks instead of just regular pistons. But you can only make an 8 line of water anyway to move items, so it's a little bit up and down what you decide really. But there is different things that you can do, and we are going to need some things. Basically what I would like to do is I would like to set up a row of what is it called? Well, either I will need 8 slime balls and more iron and more redstone. I will need extra slime but less iron and less redstone. But what I want to do is essentially I want to set up at least one line of bamboo, and then what I want to do is I want to have imagine this is the line of bamboo. When you plant bamboo, it makes the little shoot thingy. The shoot will be washed away by water. This, however, will not. And we can use that because if we then break the bamboo, we can use water coming from above to wash the bamboo onto the piston block extension, and then off to the side and down into a water stream down beside it. But that of course requires that the piston remain extended. So essentially we want to extend it, pour the water, and then when we retract it, the water should shut off. And there's different ways you can do that. I'm gonna need to use my only thingy. I'm gonna need this thingy. I forget if I could get around it, but I can't really, unfortunately. Let's get the redstone. We also need the nether quartz. We need some smooth stone. Let's put the underside in there. We need some chests. Do I have enough? It's always a question of whether you have enough or not. Need a piece of oak. I just like the oak buttons. Then I need to have some iron. Alright, so iron, hopper, do I have enough sticks? I'm not even sure I do. Should we do this again like that? Need 2 droppers. And then we need... so we might have just enough. A comparator. Okay, we almost have enough for everything. Actually, what do I have down here? I already have a dispenser made, so I'm going to use that. And over here, I have a couple of bows here that comes with Curse of Vanishing, so we're going to use those. Because I might as well. There we go. Alright, actually let's scrap another piece of oak wood, and I think we are about ready. Let's waste some glowstone, quote unquote waste. This is more for a model than anything really. Okay, I'm going to need 2 more torches. Convert that, and then I think we are pretty much ready. Okay, so let's do something with that. I'm stuck on land. Let me go. Okay, why should we do this? Probably over here. Alright, so essentially what we need to do is we need to have 1 or 2 inputs, either a button or a lever. We could also use a pressure plate or similar, but there's 2 different kinds essentially. There's the click, and then there is the toggle. So the problem with this one is that this does not have a toggle state, which we need for the pistons. So we would have to build that in manually. This, however, has the toggle state, but we do need to pulse the what is it called? The dispenser more than once. So which you use depends really. Let's use the lever first, so we can do this. We need a little bit of an area behind it. So this is the input, and then we need a base. This here can actually go up 1. And then we save a redstone by doing that. So there we go. And then we need a place for the redstone to go. And then we just need to stick in the rest of it. So there. Just close in the area. So this essentially does what we need it to do. Just for, that's why I made the lamps here. So essentially, if we give a water bucket. So if we pull the lever, what we want it to do is we want it to turn on the piston and keep the piston on. That is handled by it being a lever. As long as the lever is on, the piston will be extended. And then what we want it to do is we want it to pulse the dispenser. Then when the lever goes off again, we want it to pulse the dispenser again to pick up the water as this turns off. I used a dropper. Dispenser. I always mix them up in my inventory. Let's just break those 2. Default state. There we go. So pistons extend, water gets poured. Then when we turn it off again, this is a falling edge detector. So what happens is this here is powered off at the same, basically this powers this at the same moment as this powers this. So the power has not reached this yet, so this is turned off before it can pull the power from this block. So once the power there goes off, these both turn off at the same time. And that causes this to open up, which allows it to pull power from this one, which is still powered because this is only just turning off. So it will, for a brief moment, let a signal through and pick up the water again. So that is one way to do it if you want to do it with the lever. I have not decided if I want to do it with the lever though, so there's also other ways of doing it. And one way of doing it is with a hopper dropper loop. So let's make that, let's make it here. I'm trying to figure out where to do it so it doesn't interfere with that one, it doesn't break anything. So we want to put those there, and we put droppers going into that. So this is essentially a T flip-flop. What happens is you have an item in one of these, like a piece of cobblestone. Once this gets pulled with redstone, it will push the item into the hopper, which once the redstone goes low will be pushed into this one. That will then hold it until you pulse it again, move over there and then move here. A very simple way of doing a T flip-flop. Not completely silent because it does have the dropper sound, but any would hear because there's dispensers in the mix. So we want to put redstone up on top. Then we want a comparator that goes there, redstone lamp, and then we want our dispenser on this side now. And this time I am using the dispenser. Alright, so a few things here. This dispenser will be powered because this block is powered. It doesn't have anything to do with this being a dropper. And if you want to extend the signal, you just pull the signal from on top here. This block is actually being powered by the redstone on top. And that allows us to pull power to the dispenser. So this is the redstone signal that you want to pull to this one. It's just a way of not having to pull long lines. So that is what you want to do. Then we need to put that there. And then a button. Let's put it on top. So once we click this button, the item will go into there. Then once the redstone signal goes low, it goes in there. That will trigger this, which toggles the pistons. And then over here, as soon as we click the button, this will trigger. The next time we click it, that will trigger again, picking it up. And then the item will move back around. The problem with this one is that you can see this one here does not go active until this one goes low. And you could do something to fix that. What you would need to do is you would need to take the signal from the button and run it through a rising edge detector. This is a falling edge detector, but we will make one of those in a moment. And then use that signal from the output of that to go into this. So this is only on for a single tick. It doesn't really matter so much in this situation, except if you don't make sure that the what is it called? The bamboo is already broken. Hi there. I am talking a little bit about redstone mechanisms because I am going to make a bamboo farm once I have enough slime, which I was kind of hoping that the room over there... Oh, damn those suicidal squids. I was hoping that the room from the mine shaft would go down into a slime chunk, but I haven't hit one yet. So the problem with this one is that if this signal arrives too soon compared to this one and the bamboo has not been broken, the dispensers might fail in actually pouring the water. That can be solved by putting the pistons up to 17 high, but you can also just delay this signal a little bit more or similar. There is also other what is it called, the systems that can be built though. So another alternative signal or system is this one we're going to have to build a little higher. So there we need that button. Actually, let's just put a block so we can see. So here again we're doing that block there just to save on a bit of redstone, because this will strongly power the block. So this is a rising edge detector, so when we click the button, you can see it pulses the moment we click it. I like this design for a rising or falling edge detector because the only noises you have comes from the thing that you click, so it doesn't add any noises to the system. That's quite nice. Another nice aspect of it is that this is on for exactly 1 tick, and we can use that as a mechanic, because if we put that there, then we put the water inside. This is just a block that allows us to power it. Doesn't necessarily need to be a dispenser, it is just to show you where the output is. So essentially this block here, whatever it is powered, is the one that goes to the dispenser. And I did put the water in. But what we can do is we can use a sticky piston, put that there. Alternatively, actually because the tree is there, let's do it like that. And then we put a block here and a block there. No, there. Torch on that. So essentially what happens is there we go, that's our output. So essentially what happens is when a sticky piston receives a signal of only a single tick, it will extend and either push or pull a block. So it will leave the block if it is pushing it, or pull it in if it hasn't pushed it. And because we use that, this automatically becomes a toggle circuit. So if we click the button, which now I wish I put it on the top, I'm going to change that real quick. So if we click the button, this will turn on right at the brief moment that we click the button. And that will trigger the water, extend this, and this will not be able to pull it back because it only receives a single tick. That turns on the toggle, and then again, there we go. So that is how we can make the toggle circuitry, and that is for a managed farm. The better choice might be to make an unmanaged farm, because then we don't have to go over and actually like use it all the time, but yeah. That is definitely the most simple of the circuits, but if we don't want to use a button, we can use one of the others. This does have the added piston noise, but we're already using pistons, so that doesn't matter. We can use that anyway. So basically this is our output, and then this block becomes our output once it is in that position. So depending on what we want in the form of looks, we can use either or. And I'll probably make a managed farm at first because it's just a little less arse. But I did actually want to play with something. So let's tear these down again. Just so I don't have to craft extra things. Also remember, for the one that used to compare to this toggle circuit, that you don't want to extend the signal from the comparator too far. Depending on the item that is inside, the signal is equal to basically 15 divided by the size of the item compared to a full inventory. So one block in a 60 stack out of 9 possible 60 stacks is not very much. So yeah. Okay, so now it gets a little more interesting, because let's see, we have a dropper and a hopper. Because the problem with the unmanaged farm is that in order to do it, we need to use an observer to detect when the bamboo is fully grown. But assuming that we have that, so bamboo grows, then we cut the bamboo, then we flush the bamboo, and then we stop flushing the bamboo. That will cause 4 block updates, which means that the observer will tick 4 times, and that is 3 times more than we want it to. So we want to try to prevent that. So let's see. Let's give this 4 items. So every time this gets paused, it should put an item into this, which will immediately put it back. So we need to stop that. So this needs to be turned off when there is something inside of this one. So we need a comparator to do that. That comparator has a very weak signal, so we need to immediately power a block with it. We could also potentially do that. And the question is, actually we can quickly test that. If we strongly power this block, give it a redstone repeater so that it's pointing into this one. If we give those, they go back. That is good. That is what we want. Put it directly into a block. Okay, so when this one goes off, we want this one to turn on. Okay, so right now they can't go back. We only got 1 back. Let's try to turn up the delay. We didn't get all of them back. So we need a little bit more of a delay. Just do it like that. still remains. One still remains. Okay, so 4 is enough if we have 4 and 3. Alright. So that means that if we pulse this 4 times, all the items goes in this, after which they return automatically. That should be what we want. So let's go and grab the observer that I made. Another good thing about observers, by the way, is that they in themselves only provide a single tick update. So you can use those in conjunction with a sticky piston to make a toggle circuit. The problem is that the observer cannot read the block state of a block being powered by a button or a lever. It will not update it. I can demonstrate that. Which is a little bums, because that means that in order to do it you would have to put the lever on the wall and then have the observer looking at the lever instead of the block that it is attached to, which is a little weird. Alright, so this and this, so we have the observer looking in this direction, block, nothing happens. This should light up for a brief moment if it detected anything, but it does not. However, if we moved it over here and then did it, it's a little hard to do it now. You can just faintly see that it does it. Now it's lighting up. And that means that this would be visible, and that's a little But essentially what we can do here is, if we have let's see, this would be facing in this direction. So here we have the bamboo growing. We only need to test one of them, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to grow a row of bamboo, and then one of them we're going to use as a sensor, and once that has grown, which one will be the highest will be random. But once that one reaches the top, we at least know that one of them had reached that level. The others might be all the way up, they might also not, but either way we're ready to toggle it. So, if we use the lever again, so let's put this back in here. So we have 4 in at the moment, so 1 goes in, 1, 2 goes in, 3, 4, and back again. So that is the circuit that we want. So basically what we do then is we use a comparator. Yeah, I do have this stuff with me, so I can't do it. Let's put down this. Doesn't hurt to have extra of these. So basically what we do is we use this signal here as an output. The moment the first pulse then arrive, this will turn on. There's only the single item in there, and that will remain on for all these subsequent flips. So now we just need to use this signal, which again, this is very weak, so if we need to extend it further, use a repeater to power it up. We only needed to detect that there is anything in this. So once this is on, then essentially this becomes the what is it called, the piston signal. So that will be on until this one turns off again. And then we need to also make a circuit that will trigger the dispenser twice, essentially. So we need to do a falling edge detector. No, we can't do that. Let's power it up with a repeater. Okay, and now it shouldn't care about it. Okay, now of course don't have any more repeaters because I used them all. We don't need the torches anymore, so we can convert those. Okay, so that will go there, then we put a block. And then this output here should be the toggle, essentially. How should we move it over by one? Let's move it a little bit just so that I can place it without having to break the sand. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it here instead. Put redstone. So like that. Maybe we should move it over in that direction instead. This is not something I have played with before the stream, by the way. This is just winging it. So that is why I'm fiddling a little bit back and forth. Oh, thank you. Also, hi there. Alright, so this should be our output now. So this here and this here should be the output from this thing. Let's reset everything. Everything goes back. Let's check that it works proper. That turns on. Okay, looks like it works. So let's put that there. Oh, that was not intended. Okay, now we need a dispenser, that is a dropper. And we need the water bucket again. Alright, so this becomes our piston output and this becomes our dispenser output. We have just added essentially a falling edge detector to the piston output. And then it should essentially work for the unmanaged farm. And that should be everything we need. So once we flip this, that should go on and the water should come out. And the water should not go away and they should not turn off. Well, once we flip this the first time, that comes on and the water comes on. Then we flip this another 3 times, after which everything resets back to 0.0. Then this turns off. And this gets pulsed again and takes back the water. That works. 2, 3, 4. And there we go. Alright, so it works. And this can be extended with more items. So you can put more items inside of here if you need to ignore more. What is it called? More pulses. Essentially, for every pulse that you're getting that you want to turn into a single pulse, just put in 1 item. The only thing is you might have to extend this line here, essentially because this needs to be long enough that the items has time to go back from the hopper into the dropper. Otherwise it's not going to reset properly. So now that we have designed that, we can actually make the managed or the unmanaged farm right away. Not tonight again, because I don't have the words. I don't have the... What is the word that I'm looking for? I don't have the slime that I need for it. So I am going to extend the basement. Like currently I have it 15 by 15, which is just about a chunk in size. Where the chunk borders are though is a different question. So I could have four chunks in that area, or I could just have a single one. But either way I'm going to extend it to 25 by 25, I think. Because then I at least have 4 chunks, so the chance that there might be a slime chunk is higher. And then we'll see if we even get any. Either way, it will, if we do get a slime chunk, it will spawn them better once I move the floor up by 2, because mobs can't actually spawn on bedrock. So all those places where there's bedrock down in the area will actually prevent spawning. Which will not prevent the small ones from spawning, but it will block some of the larger ones. So yeah, we want to do something about that. But let's leave the redstone for a little bit. Also I need to check what time it is. It is getting a little bit up there, but we haven't gone super long yet. So let's put the redstone away. Not the stone, the redstone. I'm gonna need a new pick. But I'm also gonna need some more sticks. So let's get sticks. Bamboo is very convenient when you just need a little bit of sticks. One landed up there. That's the problem that I was talking about, which makes it a little bit annoying to work with bamboo on the outside. Like if I made the other one, then I could keep these just for the looks of things and use the other to actually collect bamboo. So that is essentially the plan, but I might still cut these now and then for a quick boost. There we go. All right. So that is that. Let's go to town for a moment. Feeling hot. Give me a sec. All right. So we would like to expand the town here a little bit. The problem is where to do it and how. Like, the town square down here. I don't know how ideal it is. I saw something move over there. That house up there is definitely in danger. This area is not safe. So this should probably go to a different location. But the other buildings, like, how should we do it? Like, thinking the town square should maybe be redesigned. I'm however not sure about this bell. Like, I think if I break this bell it's going to dissolve the town, but I'm not entirely sure. We do have the benefit with the villagers here that now that they are above novice level, they will not switch to other jobs. So we can move the workstations around and they will retake the job once they are available, as long as they can find them. There might be trouble with, for instance, the leather worker over here is currently the only villager who is... what is it called? The only villager who does not have... Is that you? Okay. Who does not have a rank, which means that they might try to take a job from one of the others, which is a problem. But as long as we keep them occupied inside the house, it should not be too much of an issue. I'm just trying to figure out where I actually want to put the buildings. Like, I really like this position here. So I might use that as the basis for one of the houses. The only problem is the house is in the way. So we would have to move the librarian. Question is where we should move him. What should we do with them while we are working? We could potentially make a two-person building over here for a moment. So let's steal the lectern that I made. And then put it over here, then we have something to work with. Now the question is, will they find their way to the other workstation? Go to the other workstation. I'm going to nap the bed. And also put that in the house over here. Pretty sure they can still use it even though they only have the foot end available. Don't like that he hasn't changed. Let's break it for a moment longer. It might also be that they simply don't turn back. My understanding was that they turned back into unemployed though. But maybe not. Alright. And then we have to be nasty and tear down the houses. These farms are also kind of in the way. But that's okay. I am planning to move the farming areas, like this one up here. I think I'm going to move. Probably down into the field or something instead, because it doesn't make much sense to have it on top of a hill. Like, if you're trying to hydrate the soil up here, all the water would go elsewhere. So doesn't really make that much sense. So this would probably be a housing spot instead. Alright. I would really like you to leave this domicile. Come on. I would put a leash on you if I could. You are working over in that house for the moment. Go to house. Yes, I would like you to go to the house.
We prefer doing things our own way.
Oh, are they gonna do it? Well, they were close to doing it. Come on, you can find the door. Yes. Yay! Alright, so now that we have them vacated the premises, actually I wanted to bring over something. I could also make it here, but I just have so many chests at home that I would rather bring some. And here a bench. All right. I was also playing with the idea of, you can see in here, I've cut down some mushrooms with the Pupprocraft because the different blocks are actually quite nice. Let's just take one so we can look at it for a second. So you can see here in my paw. Oh, wrong button. So this is like kind of like one of those not too high quality, slightly rough carpets, it almost looks like. This here is kind of meh, but you can use it for something, and you can also use the spore, or use them for spore textures. And then there's this one, which is actually quite nice. It's almost marbly in texture, which is quite interesting. But the interesting thing about spore blocks here, or mushroom blocks, if I borrow the protector for a moment, is that if you just place them, they will have that texture on all sides. But for instance, if I place another block on top of it of the same type and then break that block, it will get this texture, which is also quite nice. I kind of like that texture more than the other, but what do you use it for is the question. I've used it before for kind of like as a sort of alternative to dirt, because Endermen can pick up dirt, but they can't pick up mushroom blocks. So you could make a dirt house out of mushroom spore, so that is an option. So if you want the spore texture and you don't really like the red, you can use the red anyway just to get the spore texture. Could also be nice for a flooring perhaps. And I've been playing a little bit with the idea of using that for the village houses. Actually, just for the sake of it, so I can keep track of things, let's put these in here. I know they don't go there, but just so that we know how much wood we are using in the village project. Alright, so this house is going to have to go. Let's get our work chests down. I wanted these essentially to have some extra chests to... I keep forgetting that is a thing now. There we go. So, I want those as a place to dump off other things, because this is entirely full of logs and stuff, so it's hard to fit stuff in there. Okay, so let's start taking this down. Probably won't be building the whole building tonight, but at least get started. Also, I noticed that these roofs here are not at all safe. Like, monsters can spawn here. What is this? Like, that's not safe construction. You should make better roofs. At least slap them or something. Hi there, welcome. This also reminds me of... did you watch the Minecon stream that was not so terribly long ago? They had during that a skit made by a... I don't know if it's a single animator or a group, but they go by Elements Animation, and they've done a bunch of animations with Minecraft topic of like villager news and that sort of thing. It was also villager news themed, the skit that they did there, which has gotten quite popular. And they've also done some music videos, and there is a couple like what is it called, the Proclaimers with I would walk 500 miles, except it is 500 chunks to get wood back that you stole. This kind of reminds me of that. Good songs though. Silly, but good. Alright. This looks like it took a bomb to the roof. I kind of want to preserve the paints. I think I'm going to get the protector. That will also save me having to make more stone axes. It looks so weird. Okay, so this should work. Yep. Because glass, while I think pickaxes still have a higher breaking speed, it does not actually require pickaxes, so you can still get it with a different kind of silk touch tool, which is nice. Maybe I should have some dirt as well. Just to fill in holes. When I redo the town, I will probably be commandeering the terracotta. I would build with terracotta, but I have not managed to find a what is it called, a mesa biome, so it is a little too costly. Not in the sense that I can't spend it, it's just I would not actually be able to make a proper town with what I have available. It would be like one house, so don't really want to do that. Alright, let's run back again. This is why I made the tunnel, by the way. Because I keep on forgetting something and having to go back. This tune is so weird. It feels really empty without that house there. Are you okay? Alright, so now the area is filled in. Okay, so I think I want spruce, probably some stone. Okay, so trying to think of how I want to make it. This is going to be in a way. I forgot my bucket in the thingy. Okay, so let's get a work table down. Let's also get some. Let's see, what should we do? I'm tempted to continue with the birch flooring that I also have at my place. Just because I think that it goes well. See, how tall is that? Not very. Ba, 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 ba. Let's try with dark oak. Momo, hi Sean. I needed to go one behind. Dark, but it is called dark oak. Could also potentially turn it upwards like that. But I think that might be a little too many stripes. On the corners we will have to figure something out though. How are you tonight, Sean? Nice. Hope you got something nice. I think what we will do here... Yeah, sounds like you could need it with that. That breaks it up a little bit. So, question is, how much do we have here? So we have 1, 2, 3 at the moment. So we probably need to go up at least one more. And that will also kinda do a little bit of a judgment on where and how we place things. So that is where we're at the moment. It would give us 1, 2, 3. We might even need more than that. Break. We need slabs. Probably more than I need, but it's okay. I am working on I'm trying to sprint. Papa's village improvement. I have been collecting some resources over the week to allow me to start improving the village here, so I am going to invest some time and effort into actually doing that. So this is the first project. Because a lot of the buildings here are not so good. There's not a lot of space inside of them. They're very cramped. Like this one has 2 beds inside of it. That has 2 beds inside of it. This currently has 2 beds inside of it. Before it had 1. So I want to make the village a little more cozy. So I am expanding it with a little bit more of my style, or one of my styles rather. So the first that I'm working on here is I have relocated our librarian from here, because the librarian's house was actually located here, over currently to live with our cleric, so that I have space to work. And what we're going to do here, we're going to make a 2-story house where we down below here have a couple different job stations. I'm thinking of having the librarian share working quarters with someone else. Who would make sense? Well, the cleric could make sense, but I might also put the cleric into their own place, since they are a cleric, which is more of like a priest sort of thing. And then over there we also have the cartographer, which currently is not utilized. But that would make sense to put in the library, because the library is full of knowledge and the cartographer relies on research in order to do their thing. So it would only make sense that they actually like cooperate and work in the same space. And then up on top here I want to have multiple living quarters where they can house themselves. That's at least the idea. I'm glad you think so. Oh, that one I actually needed. The only problem is, since I'm expanding the village, like I was talking about it a little while ago, like the village is partially built with terracotta, or hardened clay, whatever you want to call it, and I would like to build with that, but since I am expanding the village, that is a lot more terracotta than I have. So like I would be able to build one building, and probably half of it would be different colors. Hi there, I play on PC. Also Java edition, if that is relevant. Okay, so let's take out the bottom here as well, because I want to continue it down. It's okay. All right. So then we need some pillars. Actually, with that, we wouldn't have to do that in behind, but let's just do it anyway. Cobblestone is cheaper than dirt, so might as well. See, we need one here. And here we're going to do the bottom once we tear out the farm and move that. Oh, bumps.
I am who I say I am.
Might continue this up until the floor there, or I might also make this into full blocks instead. Oh, how long have I played? A long time? I think I joined in the beta. I can't remember the exact time I joined. I think it was somewhere around the Halloween update. But I can't remember for certain. Well, there's nothing about that. There's no time that's too late to start. But yeah, it's quite a few years ago. I was going to university at the time, and I was studying electronics engineering. And then I learned of this game, which had a selling point, which was you can do digital electronics in a game. And I was sold. I don't think there's any real way to be bad in the game. Like, you can do a bunch of different things. There is plenty of people who has played the game for years and who are still terrible, and it can be bloody entertaining to watch. I kind of like that. Alright, but that does maybe change the idea a little bit for the walls. No, I'm afraid not. I'm not really in the PS4 community. I'm trying to think if I know anyone, but... most of the people that I know play on PC. Some have started playing on the Windows 10 edition, and I don't know if there's any kind of cross-play with that, because there is some stuff there. I'm not really into the what are they called? The console versions. Yeah, I figured that was why you were asking, but I'm afraid I don't really know anyone. Do I need to go up one more up? I don't think so. It's not going to be the tallest rooms, but that is okay. It is a village, so a little bit more compressed buildings does not hurt. I'm making gestures with my paws. Should we use spruce or should we use dark oak is the question. I think spruce. to give them a little bit of a lean, like that. Then I think I want oak. I'm not entirely sure on oak in this case, but let's see. Oh yeah, that's right, it's come to Switch, hasn't it? I completely forgot about that. What time is it? I'm still gonna go for a little bit, but I need some more drinks. I'm gonna grab some drink real quick and I will be right back. Turns out I pulled out a little too early. Awesome phrasing. Alright. Seriously, like with Minecraft, there's so many versions, like it's a full-time job just to keep track of everything. Now they also have Minecraft Earth and... what is the new thing called? Dungeons, I think? There's a lot. Playing with the idea of hanging lights from the corners, but I am not sure because I kinda also want to have like a half slab there, like that. Probably not oak wood, but... and then I couldn't do that. There's also a discrepancy on this side because we don't have the extension on one side there, so I think what we're going to do there is we will take these and then we will extend it out like we did on the front. Like that. Ah, bumps. All right. So here on the back we are going to extend it this way, I think. Then we can take these up. Question is if we want them like this or if we want them different. This might be a little too solid. So I think rather keep them at this level and then we can use fences to take it up further. So I think here what I want to do is do that. Still not in that stack. I should have put that stack away before I went over here as well. I'm going to do a complete palette switch here. It's fun to play with contrasts. Question if I need to move that further out. I think it's the third time now we've heard the ending music. This might be weird. Let's see how it goes. It's definitely weird, but I think it could work. Don't have very many acacia logs left, so let's grab some more. Okay, so I think what I want here is I want the should we go across? Let's grab these stripped acacia logs that I got from the building, and I don't have to make some new ones. What were you thinking about? Ah, yeah. It always seems to show up in those weird situations. Ah, bumps. I think it can work. And I think we want dirt there. Probably here, maybe even further. Probably also change that to a different type of dirt. Let's just keep it like that for now, so we can test it. How many do we need? Ugh, bumps. We are not leaving quite yet. We need 9. That was pressure plates, that's not what I needed. God damn it. No wait, no, that was right. I'm dumb. There we go. Damn it. Shift placement. Let's use this as a pedestal to do this from. That will make it a little bit easier. Bugger. You know what I should have brought with me? I should have brought those fancy scaffolding thingies that I have made for this purpose and then left at home. I think that side there needs to be shorter. Either it needs to be shorter on this side or on that side. I'm not sure which. I think up against the pillar though. Yeah, it would have been convenient, but I don't really want to run back a third time. So if we hang a light from that corner there at the same level as just above the dirt, I will probably change the dirt for pot soil, but I will need to first make some pot soil. But if I do that, it would cover everything with light level 8 up until the end, so that will make it safe. So that would be good. Always good to at least have lighting in consideration when you are building. Ow. Now this side over here might change because I do have the pathway to get up over here, so that might change this side up a bit. Bugger. Bugger! Ah, and of course I didn't get that one back. Oh, there's also a difference here in the length of things, so what we will do is, instead of having it like that, we will twist it up a bit and we will do 3 on that side. Oh yeah, Sean, I don't know if you watched it, but there was the dev stream tonight. Did you have a peek at that? The Puppercraft dev stream, to be precise. They talked a little bit more about the Kuva liches and stuff. It's quite interesting. Alright. Now let's ruin it all. I'm really looking forward to the coup villages. Ah. Well, it's quite nice, like, I don't know if you have heard anything about the coup villages before, but essentially, for your sake, if that is the case, and for anyone else's sake, the coup villages are essentially Grenier that has been spiked with Kuva and thus has gained immortality, and basically they're sent out to hunt you, and in the process of you killing them, they take on aspects of the warframe that killed them. So if you kill them with a Volt, then they will take traits from Volt, also inspired looks from Volt, similar with other warframes, and each of them will be unique. There will be a unique gender. They will also have a unique look. They will have a signature weapon, and then you have to basically hunt them down, figure out a way to deal with them, because they are immortal, they can't be killed. So you need to figure out a way to deal with these people, which involves trying to basically crack the code of their immortality. And once you have cracked that code, then you are able to finally take them out and thus kill them and get the weapon that they're carrying. But you could also convert them into a follower, in which case they will start showing up, like when you are in need. They may show up similar to a spectre, but without you being able to actually summon them. They will come and help you out. Oh yeah, they showed some very painful animations, like warframes getting gut punched, lifted up in the air, and then like just pile driven down or flinged across the room. So it's like, these do not mess around. Like, the goal of it, as they said, was to make an enemy type which makes you kind of reconsider, because all of a sudden they are the ones that are running the show. Like something that is actually a threat to you. Bobby. Bobby is a good name. I'm not going to place those yet. 1 second, itchy eye. Ah. So let's save a little bit on these as well. Just because we don't need to actually use them for everything, so. Damn it. Sometimes you can pull such a jump, but it is a little difficult. Oh, actually, let's use the ones we've already cut, just for the sake of it. Yeah, I think the Kuvalich system is going to be something quite nice. These leeches are my arch nemesis, or arch rival. I think it could be quite interesting with the system. Oh, my mouse wheel did a thing. There we go. The arrow shot sound of that. They also talked about the weapons. Like last time they talked about the Kuvaliches. They said that the weapons would not provide mastery, which sounds a little weird because most things does, but how it's going to work, they specified now, is that you will get mastery, but only for the first of a weapon permutation type. So essentially, like once you have done the Kuva Tonkor, then you will not be able to get any from those again. So that's how that works. Let's see here. We actually do have to. We do have to use something here. We can't just fill it in with stone. I did it again. Yeah. But really, I'm more interested in the whole like getting them to work for you sort of thing. Because that sounds fun. Okay, so we're gonna need to fill this in with these. It's gonna be a flammable building. All right. So now the question is, what wall should we have down below? Originally, I was thinking to have birch logs, like the stripped birch logs, for a like proper. Maybe I'll take that and make it into. I think I do. I need more logs for that. Glass? Well, there will be windows, but not all over the place. We won't make the entire wall out of glass, but there will be windows. First though, let's fix that one. So let's bring this. Let's drop off some stuff. That is just filling inventory space. I don't think we're going to need those for right now. Okay. Then right down the corner we will definitely have a lamp hanging down just for looks. I was thinking of using birch logs for it. I don't know though, since we used birch up there. Another option would be to use spruce, but that might make it too dark. So I think I want to try at least with the birch first and see how it goes. Da, 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 da. Actually, we didn't need to fill that in because we will be bringing it in here, so we can actually make that into stone. It is not a terribly important aspect in that regard. The only reason I am really considering putting stone into holes like that is because if you have a fire accident, having stone left behind allows you to see sort of where things went. It is of course nice if you have a little bit more stone than just a side like this, but it might still help somehow. Okay, so then we need another of these. I think I like that. It's kind of sandy. Oh, oops. Ba, 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 ba. This is also not the final placement for windows, but just so we have something to go after right now. This one could have a window underneath here, might be good. The problem with building with logs is that you run out really bloody fast. So that is the potential for windows. Then we can then cut it down and fill in as we want to decorate the room. But that is at least a start. Let's get a few torches down just so that we have a little bit of light in here for when we start filling in flooring and things. Okay, so we want a ceiling. We want to make a separate ceiling to the room above because otherwise we are going to have trouble. I'm wondering how spruce would look in that connection. It would work. It would definitely work. What about... what is it called? Acacia. I don't want to use jungle, otherwise I would probably use that if it wasn't for the sake that I am using it on the floor. Let's just make a single batch. I think we stick with the acacia. We might use spruce higher up, but I think down here, since we won't be able to see the top of the building, this still fits very nice with the savanna biomes. I think this is what we're going to use. Also, in regards to all those updates, by the way, they are going to be released in the next mainline, which they are going to try to get out next week. They don't sound entirely certain that it will happen, but it is possible it will happen next week, otherwise probably the week after. If we want here, we can also make like beams across to break it up a bit. But we don't have terribly much headspace here. It will bring it down into the area where we are feeling a little bit cramped, so I'm not sure we want to go that far down. But this is a beginning. And even though they're very fond of the acacia doors here, I don't think I want to use those because I'm not a big fan of them. We can try one. So that would be the acacia door. It actually doesn't look too bad. It would break it up a little bit. I think the only alternative to that would be the birch door, which is what I use in my house. There's the jungle door, but that would look completely out of place. The others are too dark, and the oak is too plain. Let's use the acacia. It opens the right way. I always like to have the door opening towards the corner that it is most close to. That's just how it makes sense to me. Alright, then we are upstairs. Use one of these to break it up, and then we use birch. Don't have any that are already stripped. Alright, so then we need to think about rooms up here. And for that we need jungle wood, we need birch, we have both. So use the same kind of floors down here. So we have birch in... Oh, squid! Oh, bugger. I talked about last time with the suicidal squid. I tried to save them, but... Actually, I think it was yesterday, I had a squid that I saved 5 times. I'm not even kidding. I was out fishing and the squid kept trying to kill itself. It's like, stop it! You're hurting yourself. We'll at least try with the floor pattern. I'm not sure it's actually going to work because we don't have that much space to work with. Okay, so we want to go in here and then we have a walkway. Like that. Okay, so let's have some more stone. Let's just take half a stack for now. So these here, let's try moving them over here instead. Ow. Let's see. This one here needs to be longer than this one, so that means that this one should come over to here. I could also cut down that room a bit though. This is a very, very tiny room. It might be too tiny. But If we were to make it larger, then this one needs to come over one, and that becomes a problem. The alternative is to have a hallway, which could also happen. I have a feeling that's going to happen many times. We could also simply do this. That will cut into this room, make this a little smaller, but it will give this one a little bit more space to live in. And then we have a little bit of an entryway here for this one. We could also move this here. So then the entryway is actually here instead. So we have it like that. And then the question is, inside the rooms, should we have the lining around the corners or should we not? I'm not sure. For now, let's maintain it and then we see how it looks at that point. That was me putting back the same block I just picked up. Alright, so then there is doorways. This has to be a doorway. Then we don't want the doorway right next to it, so we'll put the other doorway here. Which is not ideal for the shape of the room, but it is okay. And then for this one, let's put it here. No, not jungle wood, acacia. That goes the right way. I think that is the way that I want this to go as well. This one though needs to go the other way, so let's give it something to attach to. So there we go. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I'm trying to make it cozy. Let's see, this side here won't have very much space for a window, so we'll probably want to maintain the big window over there. This one here we can't do that. Does not need to be one of those. Alright, it's coming along. Slow and steady. We will probably call it off before too long. Just because I am starting to get a little bit tired. The question is what we should do for the corner. I think we make a pillar. I think we make it of birch. Alright, so that would be the room layout. This room here probably doesn't need that big window, so let's cut that down a little bit. This one over here. It's nice to have the window, but it is also quite large for the room. So this might look better. This one doesn't have many windows, so we'll keep the big window. This one over here, again, this side doesn't have very many windows, but on this side we could actually open it up to give a window. That would need us to cut this a bit though. But is that too much window? I don't think so. Though we might do what we did over there and then give this one. Essentially we'll take these away. I think that might be better. More windows is nice, but at the same time we do not want too much window. Let's look at it from the outside though. Yeah, I think I like it. Like, you could have 2x2s and then on the opposite side here also have 2x2s, but the problem with that is that it becomes very, very symmetric, and that is what I'm trying to avoid essentially. So let's see, what time is it now? It is time that we should be ending off. So what needs to be done now? Well, we need a roof, obviously. Question is what material that roof should be made out of, because we've sort of been all over with the stuff, and we have already used a lot of acacia, so using an acacia roof would look probably weird at this point. We could use chocolate wood. That could look good. I am not sure, but we'll figure that out. So I'll probably work on that off stream. Then there is the boxes there. You might have guessed it, it is flower boxes. And I will replace those with pot sole, but I need to get some Silk Touch pot sole first. I did actually exchange the dirt under the what are they called? Sunflowers and the 2 high flowers with what is it called? With pot salt. But I did that by pushing it with a piston, and that is a little bit of an ass, especially since I would have to do that over here. What are you doing with that door? But yeah, I think this would, this is coming along quite nicely. There's the question of how to actually shape the roof, and based on how we have this sort of like in a point, I'm kind of tempted to either make it a double slanted roof up towards the back end there, or otherwise have it slant towards the front here. That is just what I'm thinking right now. I might end up doing something different, but this is where we're at the moment. And then there's the question of here. This should probably be a birch pillar as well. And then we probably need some kind of railing here, similarly also out here. But other than that, I think it is pretty good. This here will probably be a single person room. This over here would probably be a double, I would say. And similarly, this one over here would also be a double. So in that, we've essentially taken the single workstation house and made it now into a at least dual workstation, potentially triple workstation. Well, a single workstation house with 1 bed into a 2 to 3 workstation house with 5 beds. So if we continue that for the rest of the town, that will make a lot of potential housing. I think I want some kind of pillar up here though. And then we need to hang some lights around, like I think hanging a light from there, probably hanging it down a little bit further with a iron... Is it an iron fence? Or is it iron bars? Either or. Over here maybe put a fence at the top then and hang a light down or something. Need to think about the lighting in the building in general, just because it needs to be safe. So just for now, we're just gonna light up the rooms. Not that stuff is gonna spawn, but still. We want to make sure that they can't. Squid, you are doing it again. Damn it. No! Don't do it! Bugger. Bugger. Those squids. Alright. So before we call it off, let's put stuff back in chests just so we know where we're at. Didn't use as much oak as I actually expected us to. I'll get this thing again. Oh, this one needs to go in the other chest. Alright, so used a bit of wood, but not as much as I had feared. So I will continue working on the ceiling, not ceiling, the roof. Get the room set up, change the pot soil, get some flowers planted properly. Probably. and get the workstations back inside of here. And with that, we can move the librarian back in. We can move the cartographer down from up there, so that will make that house redundant. Not completely redundant, but it will mean that we don't need to have that house up there, which is good because it is in a danger zone. Ideally we would like to not go much further than here, because then we end up in the dangerous area of the forest, unless I clear some of the forest. And then we need to move some other stuff. Once I get the cartographer workstation down here, I will probably be converting the leather worker over here, because he doesn't serve much purpose right now as a leather worker. I'm not buying stuff from him, I'm not selling stuff to him, and I don't think there actually is anything I want out of a leather worker. So, need to have a look at that, but I think we're going to call it off with that.
I know you're a monster.
So, let's head back to town, to house, and then we'll call it off. If I can actually jump properly. Also, with this, do you like this design? I think it looks pretty nice. I'm trying to do more of a 3D thing than like normal, just because like, no, let's get this on now. Just because with this little space, like I want it to be a cramped little tunnel, because it is supposed to have a mountain on top, right? So it should not be too tall, which is also why I have this like slightly claustrophobic ceiling, but I still want to give it a little bit more space, so that is why I'm using the fences to give it a little bit more depth towards the sides. And using the concrete powder behind it to add a little bit more color and texture to it. But yeah, that is everything, I think. So let's hop in here and call it off. So I hope that you enjoyed the stream. It was nice. As I said, not feeling the greatest tonight, so I'm glad you like it. So yeah, not feeling the greatest tonight, so I didn't want to go too long, but we've still gone 3 hours anyway. Yeah, once you get into it, right? But I am gonna get going. So, let's hop out of game. Get some ending screen on here. So, I'm gonna get going, get myself ready to curl up, because now it's all of a sudden midnight, and I am not tired, I'm just a little soon drained. But I do need to curl up. I'm starting to get a little bit of a headache. So, I will get going, say thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I'll see you again next time. I'll probably be continuing playing more than likely, so there will be advances until next time. Whether or not I build more buildings, I don't know yet, but I might at least put up some footprints, I don't know yet, but I'll figure that out. Either way, take care, bye bye, and good night.